I think the reason why they kind of say that Russell Wilson is a simp is because she is considered a baby mother because she had a child by Future and they weren't married. So, okay.
They were engaged though. It wasn't. This is the thing. This is the thing about what makes Sierra's situation very unique, is because she broke up with Future at the time when she was already pregnant and engaged to him.
Mm-hmm.
They were already engaged. She was already pregnant, and then she found out that he was being unfaithful. It's a big surprise.
Yes.
Now, I don't see her as a baby mother. I feel like a lot of black men within our community, a certain sect, and they're a big, they're not that big, but they're a loud sect. They're a loud sect, and they try to be provocative. And let's just be real. Sierra moved on and did better with the choices of men that she dates. And that's just what it is. And a lot of black men are very offended. I'm going to say offended, okay? That somebody like Sierra, who they see as a, as just some like, some R&B chick, you know what I'm saying, that had a little career and had a few cute hits. You know what I'm saying? But she was making her own money. She had her own money. And this is the first woman that Future has gotten with that literally has a career and has something and makes her own money. All the rest of his five to six other baby mamas that he has, don't have that. They're just regular chicks, regular jobs, regular stuff. But Sierra, that was the first industry chick that he's ever gotten with. And the only reason we know of him is because of, Body Party. That's why we know of Future. Because that's the man she was on. That was the man she was grinding on and dancing for in the video. And we got to know Future. And we got to know that how talented he is. Or was. Depending on how you view it. And, I just, I get tired of the whole, Sierra, Sierra is, trying to simp, her husband. I'm like, her husband of almost a decade. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, how is she simping a guy that she's married to? How is he a simp for being there for his wife? A black man being there for his wife. Making sure that she's good. Making sure that their children are good. Making sure that the child that he never had with her is good. That he raises along with her. He didn't, that's not something that he had to do. But he's doing it. Because at the end of the day, that's his son. He ain't never did nothing. That was like, he ain't never been nothing different to me. Russell Wilson is Sierra's oldest child's father at the end of the day. That's how I view it. Russell Wilson has 4 children, period. Even before the whole last name change. He has 4 children. All of them. Those are his kids. I don't give a damn what you say. And it's bad because, black folks want to sit here and some black men want to sit here and have this whole, feeling of and taken aback about how this is happening. It's happening because of the simple fact, nigga, you allowed it to happen. You weren't there for your kid. You were so upset because she moved on. You're not addressing that. So here we are. You're taking it out on the kid. You ain't going to be there for the kid because of the simple fact of who the kid is around. And the kid is around his father figure. It ain't you because you ain't never done it. So he has no idea who the fuck you are. It's pretty simple. And it really bothers me because a lot of you black men are just really not understanding the significance of of the whole situation, of how bad this is. You know what I mean? It don't matter if you sat there and impregnated this woman if you ain't doing shit to make sure that the product is taken care of. We haven't even heard about Future doing anything financially for the kid. We don't know. We don't think he does. We don't think he does anything. So why is it that people are so taken aback by the fact that Sierra is changing her oldest child's last name to Wilson? It just makes sense. Financially, it makes sense. It makes sense spiritually, like everything. This child belongs to Russell Wilson. And that's that's the thing that really grinds the gears. But if you ain't doing nothing, you can't say nothing. So, in all due respect, Future, I'm so glad you got off of social media. Because you really have no leg to stand on at this point. It just shows the more of the person that he is. You know what I mean? Has nothing to do with Sierra at this point. Because it's not like she coerced that kid to say, like, we're going to change your last name. No, changing the last name because of the simple fact it just makes more sense. It makes more sense. He ain't been doing nothing as far as I'm concerned for baby Future, for Future Junior. And it's just not there. And he doesn't deserve that. And Sierra made sure that he has a father. He has a father, not only a father figure, but a father. Mm-hmm. She got a bonus. She was probably just looking for a father figure. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She got the added bonus of that him being a good father, which is why she had more babies with him. Mm-hmm. It just made sense for them to change his last name because he is Wilson. He is. That's all he knows. Psychologically, makes a lot of sense. The older he gets, the more resentful he might become because he doesn't have that whole connection with his father. Turns into a whole thing. I'm not mad at it.
Well, I'm happy that you said something in reference to this because I think that the issue is with more men than women. It is mostly men that are upset about the Sierra and Russell Wilson situation because it is how men see women and how they see women's worth. And one thing I can sit there and say that as far as how men see women and their worth, it is different. A man will be happy to be with a white woman that has children outside of their relationship by another man and see them as a prize. But see, if a black woman has a child by another man, she's tainted. So I think it comes down to that. Now, even though Future is a bum, always been a bum, does not take care of any of his kids, and
he's a deadbeat father.
Has several baby mamas. She has always been independent on her own, got her own money. The reason why she left Future and did not apply for child support, other than all his other baby mamas, she's the only one that did not apply for child support because she had her own money. But they still diminished her worth to being his baby mama and not what she accomplished, not how she carried this man in the relationship.
More like an ex-fiance, because that's the truth. It's not, no. She's not a baby mama. She's an ex-fiance.
But not just that. She's not just that. That's the whole point.
No, that's my whole thing.
That's still diminishing her.
Yeah, no, it is still diminishing her. But it's just...
and everything that she accomplished and the woman that she was. And she did not need Future. She loved Future. And he betrayed her.
Yep. He betrayed her.
And with that betrayal, she had to move on. She did not plan on being single. Being just Future's child mother. She was planning on being a wife.
She was not
going to worry about that. But he lied and led her on. So I think the issue of why these type of men can't understand what she did and what Russell did as a man is because of how they see women. Now, number 2, guys, are y'all serious? Like, come on, be for real. Are y'all willing to sit here and raise these white women and their children and their biracial children and all this and have families with them, but deem a black woman can remarry and have a family and a man that will be with her and her children and step up when another man will not? And then y'all sit there and y'all blame us for how these boys are being raised, but you're saying that we're tainted if we have children outside of wedlock or if we are divorced and our man leaves us. Right. Come on. This is not making sense. It sounds like you're making a bunch of excuses for you to have your preferences and do the things that you like and neglect your responsibilities and contribute to self-hate. No. At the end of the day, this boy needed a man, and a man stepped up. And this man made this woman a wife and procreated with this woman, a very good woman. After a man tried to tarnish her. You need to rethink your value on women, because we are way more than how you perceive us. And we contribute a whole lot more than what you think we do, especially black women by your side. I got a question for all those black men that have black mothers. Or, your child mother is black, right? So, if y'all not together, who would you want your child mother to be with?
Nobody.
Because you know she's not going to be alone.
Nobody. And the thing about it is,
you know she's not going to be alone. So what type of man would you want her to have around your kids?
Nobody.
Because Russell never stopped Future from being a part of Little Future's life.
Nope. Not one time. Not one time.
So what type of man would you want to be around your kid? Exactly. Because a lot of y'all got baby mamas.
And a lot of y'all, and the thing about it is, it's like, what we were talking about earlier. Future has he could have a very good setup. Mm-hmm. He could have a very good co-parenting setup. Mm-hmm. He really could be the most positive one that he could have. because it was just like you could really look like a superhero to your kid. It's easy for you to look like a superhero. It's set up for you to be that. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he couldn't even put his pride and ego aside to even be there for his child. Not one time when Future was going on this radio tour of disparaging Sierra and Russell Wilson when they were engaged or about to be married or whatever the case may be, did he mention his kid one iota. Not one time did he mention his kid. Not once. And that was the biggest sign for me. I'm like, you ain't even thinking about your kid. You don't even care. He does not care. You are more worried about that, of the fact that Sierra moved on and did better after you. You expected her to pine away for you.
Like all the other
at the time, all the other 5 baby mamas. Because because it's like he doesn't even have like broken homes. He just has children with one, with a bunch of different women. One kid with one bunch of different women. So it's just like I don't really understand why we are continuing to give Future space, in this discussion anymore. This to me is the nail in the coffin.
I don't understand why all these men are riding against Sierra and Russell, and none of them never question why Future is not fighting this name change. He is the father. Y'all fighting more than he is. Ask yourself that question.
Thank you. Because it's set up that way. Future is a black man that has privilege. One thing I've said, I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but I always say black men are the white men in the black community.
Yeah. In our last podcast, you said it.
Yeah. I've said, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know if I've said it before, but it's just like that, like they are. Y'all are the white men. And you all do a lot of shit and move like them, and it does a lot of harm to us, to our community.
And this is one of them. If you're not willing to step up to be a father to a little boy still deserves, a black boy still deserves a father.
A black child deserves a father. Period.
Amen.
That's what it is. When it was like we're talking about Future right now. Don't get me started on Anthony Edwards. That's a whole different podcast. But this whole thing with, it's old. It's very old. It's very tired, and it just shows how old and tired it is because the last name change.
It shows me how much y'all really hate black women, and y'all despise black women and how y'all see us. And I don't understand when we have carried the world. Even you. Black woman is the only one that couldn't escape from her responsibilities and had to bear the burdens of everyone. But you know what? It's easy to hate the person that you see in front of your face when you're sit there and you hurt yourself to see the invisible force that's behind the pain.